Hey, before this video starts, my video quality might be a bit bad. There were other things running in the background, but a bit into the video it'll go away and it'll be fine. So just, if it's a bit laggy, it's not your computer, don't freak out. So today I played as Hungary, trying to reform Austria-Hungary. There's a ton of things that happened in this video. It was a ride. Russia was a problem the entire time, not to mention the waiting of Austria and a ton of other things. So at this point of the video, I'm just trying to expand through Croatia. I see that Austria went for Slovenia, so that was kind of a waste of a justification, but oh well. At this point, I started trying to make factories for tanks. I already made electronics, so it made it pretty simple. My economy was struggling a lot throughout this. Right now, it seems really well. It seems really good, but it was not for the majority of it. Here, I continue to invade Serbia after Croatia and Bosnia, and I kind of forgot to annex Croatia and Bosnia for a while, so I could have made a lot of quick money from that, but I did not. I luckily annexed Serbia here right away after taking Kosovo, and moved through Romania pretty swiftly, except for the mountains, which are always a pain. But luckily I'm in accords with Austria and Germany, and around this point I try to ally Russia, and Russia won't accept, even though they are allied with Germany, so that kind of scared me for what was going to come, until they got beat up on, and they scorched the entirety of Russia. Average Russia player, am I right? Here I start to invade Albania and Montenegro, just for more cities to expand for the sake of it. Kind of waiting on Austria to leave. So maybe I can just betray them, or I would end up fighting the player if this video got too boring, because I saw Iran expanding over in the east. A really important thing here is I checked my economy, and it was not doing good, so I made sure to turn down my economic laws, because it was needed. My economy was starting to fail. Now I just kind of peek at Europe, trying to scout out a player attack if I need to. But here I take Macedonia, and I probably should have made more infantry and tanks at this point, but manpower was a struggle, so it was just a lot more preparing. At this point, I also saw that Iran was starting to take over Turkey, so I immediately mobilized a ton of tank divisions, so I could not capital snipe, but I could snipe Istanbul to get the most populous city, and we eventually settled on a deal that would give me everything to the left of Ankara, and they would get everything to the right, including it. So it was a pretty friendly altercation. We allied, and it was pretty smooth from out there in the Middle East. Also here, Austria left, and they decided to cede everything to me, which is very, very kind of them. Thank you, Austria, because that saved a lot of player fights that I wouldn't be needing to have. And I think at this point, the US invaded Germany, which is kind of hard to tell, but I know they did at some point. I think it was before Austria sent their lane to me, so that was a fear. And there was a very cringe UK and a very cringe Australia. They were role-playing in a public server, which I guess you do you, man. But they were going at it, protecting the king, after the king's coronation that happened recently. So I invaded Slovakia to hopefully pick that up for my formal, and then I forgot I needed Carpathian Rus for the Hungarian Empire, so that was out of the question. So that means that my best bet was taking on France for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I decided to move south around because the UK was threatening to invade me at one point, and they justified me because I said I was going to invade France before them. So, as I started to declare war on France, I mobilized a ton of tanks, which definitely was enough. I thought all of their troops were in Africa because Libya was the last thing they took. But apparently everything was on France, so I had to quickly defend that. But it was still a pretty successful thing once I decided to make a ton of artillery. And my economy was almost in debt at this point. I tried to sweeten up my ties with Japan too, of the growing aggressor of the UK. And luckily, at one point, I was able to get money from them to finally invade the UK. At this point, the UK was starting to get extremely angry with me as I started to invade the parts of France that they said they wanted. And when I took Paris, they got pissed. So it was a pretty interesting fight throughout there. Here, I finally formed the Austro-Hungarian Empire after getting all of the things that I needed. So that was an extremely beneficial point to really get my stability up, because with the economy, getting your stability up definitely helps. Seeing the new threat of the UK, they must have really quickly invaded me, and it was a liberation war. And I didn't see that until the very end, and I was very mad that I couldn't annex the UK. It would have made for a ton better borders. But I managed to easily beat the UK's first push, and then I capital sniped London. So the UK had practically no chance. They scorched everything, which made the rest of the invading extremely painful. But I continued to push through it, killing everything with those subs and tons more. Here I finally capture all of Benelux, and I have a new tank division that I'm sending through the Darien Strait. I think that's what it's called. Or is it the Dardanelles? Who knows? Anyways, Burma is fearing for their lives in the Japanese invasion that's coming to them. And Pakistan even offers them India because they're leaving, so that's an interesting situation. And here, when I still thought it was a good war, I started to invade Norway, even though I probably should have just white peaced. It was a big waste of my time. Could have ended the video there, maybe played Battlefield 5 with my friends, but it was still fun, you know, to chat with Japan, Burma, and Pakistan. So finally I make all the peace terms, looking through them. I turn UK into just the UK, they're nothing anymore. And that's the end of the video. So, a bit of a recap. I was Hungary, obviously. I managed to push through all the Balkans, and I managed to make a good alliance with Iran. I then decided to move up after Austria ceded me all of their land and moved through France. UK had no shot on me. They scorched their land, and I managed to capitulate the United Kingdom. I ended up ranking 6th by the end of it, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you like this video, and if I get some good support, I'll keep making more. Have a good day.